Dear friends, in this video we are going to discuss about production planning module. So in our previous videos we have discussed about SAP Material Management module and also about SAP Sales and Distribution module, and we have discussed about SAP Finance module, and also we have discussed about SAP Controlling module. And now in this video we are going to discuss about SAP Production Planning module. Why to learn SAP Production Planning module? What is the reason for learning this SAP Production Planning module? And what are the advantages of implementing SAP PP module? And also, what are the advantages of implementing this SAP PP module from the organization point of view? So we are going to discuss in detail about different functionalities of SAP Production Planning module, and also the importance of SAP Production Planning module for an organization and all the stuff. Now we will discuss in this video in detail about why to learn this SAP Production Planning module. SAP PP or Production Planning module supports the end-to-end production planning activities to be carried out in the day-to-day business operations. So this production planning activities, what is meant by production planning activities? The production planning activities consist of different activities once again. So let us discuss each and everything from the scratch. So this production planning activities contains the following important activities in the SAP Production Planning module. For performing the day-to-day business operations from the production planning side, and also from the consultant's point of view, what are all the different activities to be carried out, or what are all the different modules to be implemented inside SAP PP module. So we will discuss. So the following are very, very important activities or important implementation scenarios which needs to be carried out in the SAP Production Planning module. The first one is Materials Requirement Planning Configuration. This is one of the very, very important activity to be carried out in SAP PP module. And similarly, Master Records Configuration in SAP Production Planning. So there are many different master records once again we have to configure in SAP PP module. Say for example, Material Master Record, Bill of Material Master Record, Work Center Master Record, and Routing Master Record. So these are all different master records to be configured and implemented in SAP PP. And one more important activity is Discrete Manufacturing Configuration. We will discuss it. We will discuss about this discrete manufacturing configuration in detail in our later videos. But here, these are all very, very important configurations. This is also one of the reasons why we have to learn this discrete manufacturing configuration in SAP PP, or this is the reason why we have to learn this SAP Production Planning module. And also, we have to implement sales and operational planning, that is SOP configuration in production planning. Similarly, we have to implement process industries configuration, that is especially used for the process industries. Similarly, we have repetitive manufacturing, that is REM configuration for the manufacturing industries. And one more important activity is batch management configuration. So we are producing the material in batches, or we are sending the materials in batches to the production planning department. So this batch management configuration plays a very vital role in the production planning module, because this batch management is very important from both and PP point of view. So we will discuss about this batch management configuration in detail in our later videos. So these are all the important activities to be carried out in SAP production planning. That is the reason why we have to learn this production planning module, because it supports the end-to-end production planning activities to be carried out in the day-to-day business operations. We have discussed about many different activities which needs to be carried out in production planning module. Say for example, we have to implement material requirements planning configuration, that is MRP configuration. We have to implement master records configuration. We have to implement discrete manufacturing configuration. We have to implement sales and operational planning configuration. We have to implement process industries configuration. Similarly, we have to implement repetitive manufacturing configuration, which is also very important. And similarly, we have to implement batch management configuration. So these are all very important configurations to be carried out in the SAP production planning module. That is also one of the reasons why we have to learn this SAP production planning module. And this is also one of the reasons why the companies are implementing this SAP production planning module. So we will discuss each and every topic or each and every activity in detail in our coming videos. But in this video, we have discussed very clearly about why to learn this production planning module and why the companies should implement this SAP production planning module. What are the important activities to be carried out under SAP production planning module? So these are all very important activities. Say for example, materials requirement planning configuration is also very important configuration, followed by master records configuration, followed by discrete manufacturing configuration, followed by sales and operational planning configuration, that is SOP configuration. Similarly, we have production planning and process industries configuration, that is PI configuration, which is also considered to be very important configuration. Similarly, repetitive manufacturing configuration, that is REM configuration, to be carried out in SAP production planning module. And also we have to handle batch management configuration. So these are all very important configurations to be carried out under SAP production planning module. And that is also the reason, and that is also one of the important reason why we have to learn this SAP production planning module, and why the companies are implementing this SAP production planning module for performing their day-to-day business operations. And regarding, I want to introduce myself to you. I am Raja. I am having more than 20 plus years of experience in the SAP industry. I have worked as a consultant. I have worked as a practice head, and also I have worked as a delivery head for many projects. I have involved in many implementation, production support, rollout and upgrade projects. I have got more than 5 years of on-site experience in Middle East and Europe, handling both Middle East and European clients. Regarding my areas of certification and interests, I have done my certification in finance. I have done my certification in business process planning and consolidation. I have done my certification in SAP S4HANA Simple Finance. I have done my certification in SAP S4HANA Simple Logistics. I have done my certification in SAP S4HANA Central Finance. And similarly, I have completed my certification in SAP Business and Revenue Innovation Management module, that is SAP Hybris module. So under Simple Logistics module, we have to concentrate different applications. Once again, we have to configure the delta changes in the side. We have to configure the delta changes to be carried out in the SD side. Similarly, we have to configure the delta changes to be carried out in the PP side. So this S4HANA Simple Logistics is the combination of SAP Material Management, SAP Sales and Distribution, as well as SAP Production Planning. And also we have some integrations with SAP Plant Maintenance as well as Quality Management. So we will discuss each and everything in detail in our later videos about SAP S4HANA Simple Logistics module and how Production Planning module plays an important role in SAP S4HANA Simple Logistics. We will discuss in detail. So in this video, we have discussed very clearly about why to learn this SAP Production Planning module and what are all the impacts of implementing this SAP Production Planning module in an organization, and what are all the important activities to be carried out in the SAP Production Planning module. And also we have discussed about some basic stuff in SAP S4HANA Simple Logistics. We will discuss in detail about different delta changes which needs to be carried out in SAP MM, in SAP SD as well as in SAP PP module in our later videos. Once if the consultants are very strong in the above discussed areas of SAP PP module, or once if the consultants are very strong in the above discussed functional activities of SAP Production Planning module, then only they can be able to learn, then only they can be able to implement, then only they can be able to support, then only they can be able to execute, then only they can be able to design the entire SAP PP module for an organization. Thank you.